rampant out here today.
Shit, I remember one time, even though I know he had to be fucking his mom or something. That same one ran up on Universal, like.
Now I knew the mic was off that time. I was having a little pre-show discussion. But yeah, peace to everybody. We got L7, one half of the new and improved L Brothers, SW, Carlos Clark, Baju. Got a few more people in the background to check in. And we're gonna wait till the what did I miss crew get in here today, because I got, half of this is epiphanies, half of this is a little bit of rants. You know what I mean? I might have to do a little bit of ranting. L7 said, what you mean by that? Jam E Jam. Jam E Jam is new to the channel. What's going on with you, Jam E Jam? Where you from? The wordsmith is in. What do I mean by what? Got knowledge, justice, warning law. And download it, man. You can see the title. Which a brother asked me, jungle life or beast life. I think we covered this before, but we probably got some more people in since then that didn't get a chance to see how we see that from before. Knowledge, man, the cookout. We're gonna be addressing some things, not directly. But yeah, that's a science too. It's crazy that you asked me that. True Self said 1 in 14. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's in the 1 in 14. Jamshid. Oh, this is Jasim. You know, Jasim gets a new alias. I don't know. The name don't last very long with him. But yeah, if anybody got any questions, man, until we, get into this topic. I can't even recall who it was. Let me see. Let me see if check on the phone over here. Uh, see, I'm trying to see who it was that asked me that question. And asked me on YouTube. It was, trying to see who asked me this question about jungle life and beast life. Actually, yeah, this was Jasim. This was Jasim that asked me that. This was Jasim that asked me that. So I guess we can get into that part of it, and then we move on to the other parts. So the question here is, I only know a few ways to pursue happiness, and they're all savage. How does a civilized man thrive in the jungle without becoming a beast in the process? And inside the question right there lies the answer. You know what I'm saying? And that's understanding how to be in the jungle, right? Without becoming a beast. How to go amongst the 85% and take the 8 off their 5 and not get the 8 put on your 5. Is that the gist of what you're trying to see there, Justin? Or what is it? Jam shit? Jam sheet? I think we got to make sure we're clicking the like button tonight. What did I miss? Who was slow to come in? Am I in real time or something? Are we dealing with lags? calm Islam.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I like it. What the hell? Calm Islam, he came in, said just tired of being broke. Now see, look, some of this is what I said about the creative power. You understand what I'm saying? Of your mind being able to think outside of the small boxes, right? That we put into. You understand what I'm saying? But now, one thing you gotta remember, man, about a jungle life or a beast life. Yeah, we can't figure out how to use that. See our brother. We can get it in the head, but I crashed.
Charge?
Yeah, it should be charged. That's what some of that is dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You being able to use your creative power, you know what I mean, in order to be able, because remember, uh, how people make money is culture. So that's why, it's good that you related it to that. You understand what I mean? Being, uh, living in jungle life or beast life. You understand what I'm saying? So just in terms of, I'm not, are you saying like how you weigh and judge things? How you weigh and judge what it is that you can't do and what you can't do? Because there is, to me, the words say something different, but just in general, that's my main problem. If the words say something different, but just if you look at it, now jungle life and beast life is not one and the same. See, a jungle life, right? You strayed away from civilization. You understand what I'm saying? A beast life, you lost all knowledge of self and is living as a beast. See, like right now, it could be any circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Right now, if you get stranded on an island, right, and you eat fish every day, you living according to what's over there, even if you might not ever eat fish in your everyday life. You've adapted to that particular kind of jungle that you in. You understand what I'm saying? But if you start living like the beast that's over there, you see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing, like I said, when you put someone on the scale of justice, if you do something that's from a beast life, there's really no coming back. There's really no coming back. You literally got to destroy the person that you became in order to ever come back. And you probably will never come back, 100%, meaning to the people who experience you living that beast life. You understand what I'm saying? Like right now, just in the course of your everyday endeavors, right? There's people that do things to you, right? And it's like, all right, that happened, but that was years ago. Bygones is bygones. And there's some things where this person is just, you don't exist anymore. 793rd came in. Wise use in the jungle is the environment. Beast is to be that said beast. Not just the said beast. You know, you the beast by action. You see what I'm saying? What's his name now? Jamshid said, when I was doing analysis and degree, it makes reference to the original people and not the 5% specifically. You're talking about the God degree in the 1 and 14. Okay, what's the reason you're making that distinction? There is a distinction there. What's the reason you're making it? But you know, Calm Islami said jungle life is the thin line between a beast life and civilization. You know, see, we in the concrete jungle, right? You know, the clothes you wear, right, is a part of being in the concrete jungle. To see, like you said, you might just look at people, if you take it on face value, you may not know the difference between a jungle life and a beast life. You know, and look, don't think, you know, we always putting it in certain environments, but look, when you go to your job, that's a certain kind of jungle over there. And you could become one of the beasts, right? Depending on what your job is, you could become one of the beasts that's eating the babies whenever the nurses bring them to you. Yeah, shit said because the original man, so you making a distinction between the original people and 5% because the original man can still be uncivilized and savage, as it would be up to me to build civilization in the midst of the wilderness. You know, yeah. You know, but I'm just saying now we talking about in terms of, right, where we at right now. What you asking me, right, is how to survive in the wilderness of capitalism. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, especially if God's like Divine was on here, right, he would be talking right now. Anytime you bring up economics, he starts talking about the barter system. You know, and, you know, we speak about all different things, you know, farming to grow your own food, different ways of survival or whatever it may be. But in the capitalist system, right, that's a certain jungle. You know, like Joshua said right there, it's a certain wilderness, right? Where everybody don't understand what's going on. Some people is lost. Some people get ate up out there. So when you go into that world, you understand what I mean? You could become one of the beasts that's eating people up. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the babies being anybody who lack the understanding to actually be a grown man, a grown planet. On love, Allah. So my thoughts all day have been on the subject of your title, which I put a couple things in the title here today. Because like I said, I had some epiphanies, and Jackson asked this question right here, which is what we got into first. And I got like a rant or two, short rant, Hashem said I've been suffering from a lack of vision. The reason I got into economics in the first place was to look for other ways to pursue happiness and hopefully show other people different ways to pursue happiness. However, it seems futile from this perspective at times, and I've been lacking in patience. I've never been up there, but I've never really not done nothing. Wise came in from Washington. Um, like I said, that's the wilderness of capitalism. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta remember that because we don't build a legacy of wealth, mentally or physically. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that a lot of brothers, uh, a lot of wealth doesn't get passed on. You know what I mean? What they say, like the intergenerational wealth. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like, look, you could pick any rich company, right? Let's say you pick Ford Motors, whoever, you got, if you look in there in the Ford family, I'm sure there's somebody that's my age, close to my age. Their grandfather didn't work harder than my grandfather. That's not the reason that they got money and I didn't have, I had like some insurance money or something that passed on. But not, something to say right now, I'm straight. You see what I mean? We're not able to pass that on, but then more importantly, right, is we're not able to pass on the mental part of it, meaning the financial and the economic literacy that gets passed on in other communities. So what you will see a lot of times, right, if you go back a generation or two, right, the family was homeowners. They have property, but how to really, educate their children on how to also become homeowners and how to grow the family's wealth. This type of thing doesn't get passed on. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, we coming from uh, being kind of the I'm not sure what would you say. We're coming from being the capital to now being able to thrive in the system, right? On some level, now you capitalists. You're able to capitalize, right, off of, whatever economic, what do you call that thing? Uh, Arbitrage that you can find. You understand what I'm saying? So you mastering a system that you was brought in to as the livestock. That's state of the art. Don't start till they state of the art. Hashem said I've been purposefully avoiding past behaviors in order to challenge myself to grow. However, this is uncomfortable. Yeah, that's how growth is. What that means is it's working. Now, you cut it off now before it's gotten a chance to work. But if you're uncomfortable, then you in the position to grow. You in the condition to grow. part of the thing too is I'm seeing more and more how the capitalist system is mad trash bagging. Like I said, the capitalism itself, right? After you explain what you're saying, the capitalism itself is the jungle, right? That you dealing with. As long as you said heaven is what you make it. Waiting for Josh Shimbier to uh, maybe expand on a little bit more what he means here. $7.90 said cows and chickens ain't usually pets per se. They're the capital. Exactly. You know, and now it's like the cow or the chicken coming to the market trying to make sales. The wordsmith said the capitalists are 10%. I mean, well, how you see that? Well, I'm going to say there's a lack of vision. It's just not your vision. You gotta, the system that we existing in right now, this is the vision of other people, the vision of other people. And other people visualize this. So yeah, when we activate it, yeah, it matches up with their culture. They don't match up necessarily with our culture. How Kim Salam and real hip hop came in. But how you see that Asiatic mathematics to capitalists are the 10%? So Asiatic mathematics said 10% are the ones who get rich off the backs of the impoverished. Josh Ship said, I think I need to work on redefining what success really means to me. Thomas Romney said a business component, no matter the size of the business, is a capitalist by definition. Um, See, and this is a question. Is the 10% the capitalism? Right? Because remember, a lot of the people that we talking about that's the 10%, they're not dealing with capitalism. They're dealing with socialism. My personal take on capitalism, right? Because remember, let's take the money out. I'm talking about, currency. You know, my knowledge, right, and my effort, my labor is actually capital. You understand what I'm saying? Even though labor is split apart from capital, uh, you know, in the equation when you say labor and capital is what uh, capitalism is about. You know what I mean? The labor is the human capital of the worker. All right, now Asiatic mathematics, you hit some on the head right there. But let me come back to that when I complete what I'm saying. Right? So if I invest my capital in something, right? And then even if I go and barter it for you, meaning I grow some cabbage, and then I come and trade it with you for some tomatoes, right? That's capitalism, but it's just worked through the barter system. So you got to remember that the basis of, or one of the basic elements of capitalism, right, is slavery. Like there's what's that guy's name again? Smith, Adam Smith. Adam Smith is like the Karl Marx of capitalism. He's the guy that made all the observations about, how capital and labor and goods and production and all of that move within that worldview of capitalism. But when Adam Smith was making these observations, right, and writing his books, slavery existed. Slavery that was where the labor came from. So you need some other unequal system, in my opinion, right? In order to make any economic system bad. Like if you just got individuals that's investing their time, right, and their effort in doing things, and then they doing trading with each other. See, what the problem is when the person comes who doesn't have anything to offer. Except violence. And see, you can see that in the street. You know what I'm saying? If you've been out there, you've seen that, it's everything can kind of work until you get somebody who really don't know what they're doing unless it pertains to violence. So now we doing our capitalism, right? But then here comes somebody to say, well, look, being that I don't have nothing I can do, I need a cut of this right here. I need a cut of what's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't get my cut, we about to turn up. See, now you get this is government. That's government. When you come in to make all these regulations now on how things is going to run, and then say because of that, now you're going to get a cut. Now we put the other elements in that make just interaction between people something different now. So that's why I'm just saying, for me, just are we identifying the capitalism or are we identifying something else right? When we say that a person is a 10%, you know what I mean? Now, Asiatic mathematics says socialism says ownership belongs to the people, belongs to the workers. So how are they the 10%? Because that's what they say. See, for that matter, right? Capitalism says the same thing. Because socialism says that ownership belongs to the people, but the control and the administration of everything, right, still goes through the government. You see what I'm saying? The propaganda is the same. That's why I told you these are still both systems to preserve the wealth, right, of the people who always had it, or to steal their wealth and in put yourself in their position. Like, let's say we're talking about Russia. Okay, you're going to kill the royal family, but then you're going to put yourself right in a position that's still similar, if not the same. You see what I'm saying? Democracy says that it's for the people. What is it? For the people, of the people, by the people. So this talk, anytime you hear this stuff, the people's this, the people's that, all right, well, let the people say that. But I'm saying that this understanding of socialism, right, is propaganda. The same way that understanding that, government is for the people, of the people, by the people is propaganda. And that socialism is actually the marriage of corporations and the government. That's what socialism is. When corporations and the government is together. So a lot of the capitalists that you might say, corporate America, no, what they really dealing with is socialism. They telling you that they dealing with capitalism, but only the people, the people that's the labor is forced to deal with. But in reality, at the top, they're dealing with socialism. Asiatic mathematics say capitalism has a class system, while socialism really doesn't have one theoretically. Well, see, socialism is a is a is a government form in an economic form. You know what I'm saying? And there's still the social part of socialism. You see what I'm saying? With capitalism, that's a government form. I mean, that's an economic form. And then democracy is supposed to be the government form that when they put them together, then, you make America great again. So what I would say is that in terms of economics, in socialist societies, there may not be a class system. Everybody's poor in most socialist societies. But from the social aspect, there are classes. There's classes of people and categories of people. You know, uh, that's not really a socialist society. But I'm saying when they practice a lot of the ideas of socialism, let's say on a college campus. You understand what I'm saying? So right now, if you're not in acceptance of certain social things, right, then you're in a lower class. You're in a class to be ostracized by the government or the people. You know what I'm saying? And that tends to happen in socialist societies. Somebody does so like the big pharma drug of the week commercials, attempting to personalize their product, caricaturizing the turkey dressed like a person in glasses walking around having person problems. Why you say, can you stay righteous and hold your post, or are you going to sell out and trade with a trader who is a beast and not an upright man? Well, hip hop says the science. You know what the science is. Everything in life about peace and happiness. Asiatic mathematics said it was called feudalism at that time. No, in between feudalism and capitalism was something called mercantilism. And mercantilism was it basically was in the middle. Like you had a merchant class of people, right? But you had to be down with the king. Like he gave you a charter. Like for instance, the colonies in America, that certain individuals was given charters. You know what I'm saying, to go to whatever colony that was, whatever part of America that was, and make money. You know what I'm saying? And you had to break bread with the king, and the king backed you up. If you had any beef or whatever, you call on him and send some troops out there because he's protecting his investment, like he's protecting your investment. You see what I'm saying? But in fact, there was people already starting to kind of move. There were certain merchants that were starting to move outside of that system. See what I'm saying? Which, uh, when you look at least what they tell us in the social studies books about America, that was one of the things that happened that year. You had most of the time the first governors of a lot of these 13 colonies was the person who got that first charter from the King George, right? To or whatever the king first gave him that charter, right? Uh, to to go and found that colony. See what I'm saying? But then you got other individuals that's inside the colony, not necessarily the governor, but they making money too. And so that was one of the places that we get the famous taxation without representation. So yeah, Adam Smith. I mean, he knew about feudalism. Definitely, there were still many feudal societies. You know what I'm saying? But what he observed was mercantilism and capitalism. Thomas Longley says socialism is the advocated society of men and grouping for one common cause. What is that? What is that common cause in a capitalist enterprise? Uh, Money. Jason Rosario TV. Alchem Salon says anyone or system that promotes the pursuit of private wealth rather than state-controlled economics is a capitalist. All right, now see, listen. Al-Kim Salam, he just told you some. I mean, this really. I'm not saying that he's speaking propaganda. I'm saying that these systems is really just to preserve the wealth and appease the people. See, the reason why they put the people, right, in every form of government, whether it's democracy or whether it's socialism, is because in the feudal system, in the feudal system, like what Asiatic mathematics just brought up, right? In the feudal system, everything was about the king. The king was the whole of the law. You see what I'm saying? So uh, this is why you started having revolutions, because people felt that they didn't have any recourse. Like once the king said this was the case, then that was the case. So all of the new movements that came, right? Because the outcome of that was revolutions: the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Royal people is getting their heads chopped off. So in order to stop that, like I said, we got to preserve what we got, but also appease these people so that they don't feel they need to do that no more. So we're going to come up now with systems of government that make them feel as though they're participating. You see what I'm saying? So you know, when you go and vote in America, you feel as though you're participating. You know, when you make whatever sacrifice that you have to make in a social society, in a socialist society, you feel like you're participating. So you don't need to go, burn the target. See, that's what happens when people feel that they don't have any recourse and that they're not participating, right, in the governance. We're just saying is, you know, you're going to notice that they both tell you something about how they're liberating the people. Capitalism is going to tell you that it's liberating people the same way socialism is going to tell you that it's liberating people. Tad Simpson, I was doing the knowledge to something earlier, and brother dropped and gained some understanding from that. Got serious mathematics, universal truth, real hip hop. What are you wondering about real hip hop? Real hip hop, he likes that emoji record. Something about real hip hop. Nice. John Simpson, all they're doing is rebuilding everything that burned immediately, like it never happened. Just shows how much currency was extracted from the community. That's Reeves. Asiatic mathematics said when Fidel came into power in Cuba, he ran some of the business owners out and made it public ownership. You see, you gotta remember, and this is what I said about government. This is what I'm saying. The government doesn't have anything to add on. So what that means is that they can't produce. So how are they going to exist? How are they going to exist? Where are they going to get the money from? In those socialist societies, They got control over the economic apparatus. Why, as you said, all isms except revolution. What's that? So just jam shit, rather should I say? Man, but you is this what you're saying is happening in Minneapolis? That they rebuilding, they appear to be rebuilding quickly. Or you talking about something else? You might do the each one teach one and hit the like button for me because in a few minutes we're going to get some more people in here from the What Did I Miss group. We're about to, I think we pretty much dealt with this, right, Jam Shit? The jungle life or beast life. You know, now that I've seen what you were explaining as the jungle life, you know, I mean, how much have you paid attention to that whole history of economics, right, and government? You know, not just the science of how it works right now, but the whole history of where it came from and how it came about, right? In order to know where you fit in it. Now let's say that they are rebuilding that quickly in Minneapolis, red flag. So yeah, Jam Shit said they're rebuilding immediately. That's I mean that interesting. Interesting. You know, I would have to really look at it a little more carefully. But that's definitely something interesting. Feudalism, socialism, capitalism, then you got revolution. Yeah, I mean, the thing is now, kind of those three systems, right? Is kind of the only uh, how would you say, like they the only perception of how government can happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you said, right, feudalism, socialism, capitalism, then you got revolution, but then a lot of times that revolution leads right back to another ism. You know what I'm saying? Like some people would be dealing with capitalism and then they'll have a revolution and go to socialism. And we already know that from feudalism, the revolutions led to socialism and capitalism. So Josh Simpson, there's still some buildings that are burned down, but for the most part, nothing changes. Nothing changed. Yeah, we gotta keep our eye on that. I mean, is there any particular uh like businesses that's built, like is it the big corporations? Is it are the mom and pops stores being able to are they participating in this rebuilding? Um Any idea who's financing it? Like, everybody's insurance payment came through on time? These are the questions that I would have if I was on the ground out here. It's like in New York, it's going to be a minute because just the way of life of New York, right? It's just not, you can't have quarantine. New York is about population. You know what I'm saying? It's about people walking up and down the street. We don't drive to every store. You got to drive half a mile over there. It's a strip mall, and then it's a couple of stores. Stores right next to stores, right next to stores. So you might be walking to this store to get shoes, but then you pass all these other stores and you go in and you shift. So without that type of traffic, you know what I'm saying? You got to remember in New York, just for work, we got people that come from New Jersey. We got people that come from Pennsylvania. We have people that come from Connecticut daily. So without all that population right now, and then, a lot of people in New York, they work in the economy that services all these people that come into New York. So, if, we didn't have the type of damage on the scale that they had in Minnesota. But if it was, you know what I'm saying? But, there's parts of New York that is about to be permanently shut. At least for the very near, it's going to be shut down. Okay, so Josh Simpson, most of the moms and pop stores wasn't touched, but the ones that was are building back too, right? I imagine insurance is how a lot of them is doing it, but as much trash as they were talking about the damage being done, it really didn't hurt their pockets like that. Judge Ruler came in, Jam shit said all that talk about how much more important their money was in this man's life, and he didn't have to sacrifice anything really. Rebuilding a better machine to extract more wealth. That's a good point. And I think it adds up with what I was saying before about, don't worry about talking. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want to come back, right, then let's build our own, whatever we want to call it. Because, exactly what you're saying right here is that if you're making so much money that you didn't skip a beat, yeah, that's that street shit right there. Got that kind of money. Lost a key, still out there handling that hand. That's what you gotta understand. That's why, like I said, the economics is a jungle. There's beasts out there eating you up. And now that we didn't hit any of the other topics. We didn't hit any of the other topics. So we'll hit this topic next, which is related, right? Of poor righteous teachers. See, Jam, shit, you on the one, you're not on the 140 yet. Let me get a little rundown right here, right now. Well, not always, but let's go back to the old format. And I'm gonna ask a question. How does everybody here see poor righteous teachers. At least the brothers that's on the 140 that you've had some time to draw this kind of thing up, right? How do you see poor righteous teachers? I shall return. And we got a master student. Forever alone. Jamshid said poor can mean few in number. Calm Islami said poor righteous teacher is one who prioritizes imparting knowledge and teaching civilization over material gain, and he does so because that is his duty. Seven and third said few in amount of resources, poor that is. Serious mathematics, an educator of truth that share the knowledge with the masses, not trying to gain any kind of selfish recognition. See, one way of looking at this, right, is that, so how Kim Salam said, we teach the poor, meaning those who are destitute in the knowledge of themselves, as well as those trapped in the poor part of the wilderness of North America. During hip hop, I see poor righteous teachers as those that teach civilizations that are civilized. You see, we also got to look at it, right? When you say who is the 10%, right? They're the rich slave makers of the poor. So you remember when you're looking at the degrees all over, right? The 10% is always the opposite of the 5%. They conceal, we reveal. See what I'm saying? So, when it's telling you that, it's just telling you that a person hasn't been using this knowledge, right? And holding that wisdom above people's heads in order to make themselves rich. You gotta remember, we're talking about 1934, where it's not a whole lot of rich original men. Sometimes you gotta look at the actual situation that was at that time. Like it's like when it says illiterate, we draw it up to all types of things, what it means right now, but let's not forget that context as well. Let's not get stuck in that context, but let's not forget that context as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing though. their instructions, right, from Allah was that you got to take the poor out of the lessons or out of your lesson, right? Take the poor out of you being a 5%. You know what I'm saying? Now, see, what Al Qaeda Salam did is that's the way he chose to take the poor out of his lessons, right? Saying that I'm not the poor, who I'm teaching is the poor. You see, but now that's one way right there of taking the poor out your lessons. Can anybody think of another way to take the poor out your lessons? See, because that's what we're talking about. That's why I said this is related to what we're saying already. That we here in the wilderness of the capitalist system, right? Now, we gotta realize that our poverty, right, is not natural, it's manufactured. As W said, by actually putting them to use. See, our poverty is not natural, it's manufactured. It's manufactured by colored men, right? In this society. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, the original man is not you know, the original man in the wilderness of North America is not dealing with economic trials and tribulations because of lack of hard work. It's because you in the system where you was brought in as the livestock, and they continue to find ways, right, to continue using you as the livestock, right? No matter what face they put on it. Meaning, okay, you was brought in as straight livestock in slavery, but then you still was used as livestock in sharecropping. Then you still was used as livestock in the industrial revolution. You know, black people was brought to the, well, we was invited to the north, but we was invited to the north into all these northern cities, right? To still be livestock. You know, they needed labor in the factories for World War II. So somebody touched on it a little bit here. You see, one way you got to take the poor out your lessons, right, is to take the devil off your planet. Because he's the manufacturer of the poverty. If I mean, in any situation you got, Like right now, if you find out that you got a friend that every time you just go shopping, you notice like half your eggs is missing, and then you find out that this person just wait for you to go shopping, and then they come by and visit you and take half your eggs. What would you do? You know, even if you a non-violent person, you still probably gonna stop being friends with that person. You're gonna take them off your planet. So now we get into, where you were saying being able to have that vision, to being able to, finding out what you can do in the capitalist system, right? That still, coincides with all your morals and principles. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between us, right? And the brothers who was there at the at Reconstruction. You know what I'm saying? The brothers that got out of slavery, that built all those societies, they went off on their own. They took the devil up their plan. You see, whatever trading we do, we know how you is now. Like, look, we got this furniture, but we need the money now. No. We ain't gonna wait. We gonna need that. We gonna need that option. Yeah, I know you got bills. I got bills too. I don't want to hear more about no pension. I don't need no pension for you. Just give my money now and I handle what I gotta handle. So what that means is building on our own land, building on our own 23 million square miles. See, that's what we have right now. Even if you own 23 million square miles, you haven't built nothing on it. You know what I'm saying? The kid, you own the property, but you don't own the business right there. You don't run the business. And they don't pay you no rent. They don't pay you no rent for using your property to do what they gotta do. But if you're building on your homeland, then they can't make you a victim of what they're trying to do. They can't just make you a part of their determined idea, right? And what's their determined idea? Their determined idea come from their father, which is Yakub, right? What's his determined idea? For them to make themselves rich from your labor. So I'm saying for Jamshid, yes, I mean your particular set, like you said, maybe you have to redefine what you see as success. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just gotta take it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it might don't be pretty, but you may have reached to that point where it's like, okay, you've been studying the economics, right? You've been studying that field to see where you can fit in. Maybe you don't fit in. Maybe you're gonna have to just use all that knowledge in order to come up with your own thing, what you gotta do, which ultimately is the only solution. You know, even if you is the most staunch integrationist that there is, in order for two people to integrate or whatever two things to integrate, it's gotta be a common denominator. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, both people got to come there, kind of equal in knowledge and equal in wisdom. Meaning, if you're negotiating with a millionaire, right? First of all, you don't know what he's going to do with this thing right here. Like it could be something that for us, we don't even bother that. Like it grows right there. We don't even like we see it every once in a while we use some, but we don't really have no value on that. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know though that what they going to do with it, they making billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So if you come to the table without that equal knowledge right there, then what happens? You're going to get jerked. The other part, okay, you negotiating with a millionaire and you starving. So he can afford to keep negotiating for years. Whereas you trying to get something to eat for the day tomorrow. So your whole negotiating stance and strategy is compromise. So what I'm saying is that in order for you to step in equally, right, and do business with people that's doing business, you got to be doing business too. Not just the business you're doing with them, you got to be doing business. So perhaps that's where you at, Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Where, you need to start looking at what you could do. When Magnetic came in, let's see where we at with the, have I been running through the topics here? It's remaining civilized. I think we already ran through that. That's been kind of the that's been kind of the what we've been speaking on the whole time. Remaining civilized. As you were dealing with the devil, as you're walking through hell and dealing with the devil. You got to remain civilized. And like I said, don't just look at that as you're retaining the knowledge of self, or you're still talking about the lessons. It's actually, like I said, uh, we got to think about building civilization. When I say building civilizations, I'm talking about when we speak about, for instance, if we say the Sumerians or the Egyptians, or the Nubians, these are different ancient civilizations. That their whole, mindset, worldview, and everything is one part of it, but it's also about the societies that they built based on that. The societies they built and how those societies operated. And so, drawing that up with what I was just saying, about building on your own land, building on your own 23 million square miles, and not letting everybody else be the ones that build on the 23 million square miles. See, like when you go to a different countries, right? You say you go to Nigeria, right? Now, I think Nigeria got oil. The companies that drill the oil, right, and sell it, they not Nigerian. You see what I'm saying? Like South Africa got diamonds, but the people who built the diamond mines on their 23 million square miles is from England. So see, remaining civilized, you know what I'm saying, also means building those things so that your mindset and worldview don't become dominated by someone else who has a determined idea. Look at that right now. He's pretty deep, man. I think let me see, I think we're up to the rant portion. Yeah, we up to the rant portion. I don't know if y'all ready for this. Yeah, we've been quite calm. We've been quite calm. I don't know if y'all ready. Y'all ready to go on the rant. But I had an epiphany about the said person. I learned something new, and I had some things old be brought back to life. But I definitely learned something new about the said person, or at least how I see the said person. But you got any questions about what we was dealing with today? Yeah, I've been taking me around the world the last couple of jump offs. This week's had another one of those times where it was crystal clear. Is that the case? Yo, what happened to my mans too, man? Who was here? Who remember Saeed? Remember Saeed? You seen Saeed, man, and my other man, Albert Glani. Yeah, Saeed the Sunni man. He was the first person that told me about the Sunnah. I mean, I'm sure somebody's tried to tell me before at some point, and I just wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's when I realized what the Sunnah is. Uh, Yeah, Real Records. Real Records is another person I haven't seen. I mean to try to teach the center. Has anyone heard the other meaning? I was watching MREC TV. Shout out to MREC TV. But I was watching MREC TV, and he had an Amina. He had an Amina on his show. I don't know if she was the co-host, but or she was a guest. But has anyone else heard Amina? Bilali? Nah, Albert Wani. Remember Albert Wani? He called in a couple times. CSW. All right, so 793rd said Amina was married to the guy True that passed away. That Supreme Man told you he went to the services. The Sunnah of Rasulullah or the Messenger of Allah Muhammad Abdullah. Um, so the brother True, because I recall him saying that, but I don't really True. You know True. She did say something like that. I can't recall. That wasn't the only name she said. It was True something. 793rd, yes. I don't, yeah, some of the stuff uh, is not exactly up my alley. Yeah, Ty King. That's what she said. Ty King. That's the name she said. But I don't think I knew the guy. Yeah, that's that's 793rd. So he's not ready for a meanest broadcast yet. I mean, it was difficult. Like I had to listen. I still haven't finished. It's one of the things where I listened to it like piece by piece. But it was a brother that sent it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I really was checking it out because he sent it to me. But as soon as I was like, oh, Islam, he says Sunnah equals Hadith. That stuff is. But so yeah, I guess since we didn't have any questions, uh, Sunni means sunny. You see, you see, uh, you see, Asiatic mathematics. I don't think you think MREC is the new. I don't think MREC is the new meme, G. What happened? We had a day. And I was the wordsmith. He's always. Nah, this is a different Amina. Apparently, she was a guest on MREC TV. But yeah, I guess since we didn't have any questions, I'm gonna get into the new the new thing that I just seen about the said person and who's the said person. See, the said person is somebody that you see them around, right? You interact with them, you have a conversation with them, right? And if they didn't say they was a 5%, you wouldn't know. Like, I don't think I had to tell people that I'm a 5%. Like it's not gonna be a whole lot of conversations, unless we dealing with something. For instance, if we dealing with capitalism, where I don't need to get into that, like we just doing a quick transaction or something like that. Yeah, you might can know me for years, but like you ain't gonna listen to no 2-hour live from me, right? And then at the end of that, you don't know that I'm a 5%. Like I ain't got to tell you that. He's a 5%. Yeah, how you know? That's what he said. I don't see no real evidence of that around you. You know what I'm saying? And what you've built, what you've made, what you've owned. In a conversation with you, I don't detect. That's what a said person is. Unfortunately, I've been having some interactions with said people. To the point where I guess now we get into the rant part, where it's like, look, if you're a sad person, don't come around me and give me the type of dilemma, right? That's why that's the reason why I don't like the sad person. You see, now you give me a dilemma. Do I handle this like it's supposed to be handled? Do I handle this like it's supposed to be handled? See, because, a lot of times we call somebody a sad person. But see, what happens, right? Like the other day we said one of the characteristics of the sad person, right, is somebody who say something that they can't really show and prove it. But what happens when somebody shows and proves that they the sad person? See, the sad person might can't show and prove, right, that they the civilized person, that they the true and living God, true and living earth. But they can show and prove that they're a sad person. And you know what is the easiest way? The simple way that even a baby can see who the said person is? Anyone? Anyone, Bueller? This is a little bit of a trick question. But let me see. Let me see who's in the mood. What is the crystal clear way that even a baby can know who the said person is? He's like mathematics. So yeah, I see people on social media who say they 5%, but all their posts be about celebrities or some other pop culture type stuff. Right. But at the top, it says member of the nation of God's and earth. Right. Jasim said by their wisdom. SW says seeing one's actions or lack of potential versus kinetic. Wordsmith said it has something to do, it has something, it has something, there's some typos in there. I think spell check got you. If you watch TV all day and never look at the lessons or read, then all you can talk about is what you take in. If I say it has something to do with the food you take in, it has something to do with the food they take in. See, look, y'all touched on it. See, the reason why I said it was a trick question because I had a specific way of saying it. See, you could tell when they the sad person, when they word ain't life. Your word, what you said, it's not life. See, now you show to prove you just a sad person. You're not true and living. The word is not flesh with you. So now that's what I said. Now you give me a dilemma. Now you give me a dilemma. You see what I'm saying? Because now if you're the sad person, now I got to go through all these determinations now. Queen Medina. Oh yeah, Queen Medina. I think I seen Queen Medina just join the channel recently. I saw that. Welcome to the channel, Queen Medina. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but you know, I keep these guys under control over here. I run a Hotep channel. You know, I don't let you don't do the woman bashing. Did you get a chance to check out the playlist? What's the name of that playlist we did? We had one whole week where we taught Black women science about the earth. But back to what I was saying, you know, what we do now? You know what I'm saying? Do I do I handle this the way it's supposed to be handled? You see how it's supposed to be handled. Here we had Hotep Week. But you know, when the sad person show and prove they the sad person, how is it supposed to be handled? I'm saying if we go by the prescribed law, the wordsmith said when we sit down and eat, our body is breaking down that food into enzymes and everything. Same thing with the mental food if a person watches porn and Jerry Springer 24/7. Oh man. See, according to the prescribed law, the said person is supposed to be punished by the nation of Islam. So now I got the weigh and judge now. I got the weigh and judge, right? What's the punishment? What's the punishment? See, and I'm gonna tell you a characteristic about this sad person, man, that you gotta realize, man, about this sad person, man. A lot of times you know the sad person and he's a nice guy. She's a nice young lady. You ever noticed that about the sad person? Nice guy. Like, I've been uh, alleged. I've been alleged to have addressed some sad people. And a lot of times, when these allegations come up, it's still, why this person is such a nice guy? What are they really doing that's wrong? You ever notice that about the sad person? If you ain't noticed that about the sad person, let me just clue you in right now. That's the thing about the sad person. You know the sad person. Sad person is a nice person, man. Might be sincere, good heart. That's the sad person. See, every sad person is not a snake of the grafted type. That you can only deal with justice in a limited amount of ways. Because if he's allowed to live, what? No, that's not always the case with the sad person. Sad person is a nice guy. Everybody likes him. See, now that leaves you as a limit. You see, it just said punishment for the sad person. See, in the knowledge-born degree, it's a little bit. I mean, it's still. Listen, it's still. You still got to draw it up. Don't get me wrong. You still got to draw it up to the finest degree of understanding. You see, the knowledge-born degree, it tells you blood would be required at thine hand. Beaten with many stripes. So you get to the sad person, Now we got to weigh the judges. Now we know how what we gonna do? What we supposed to do? You tell me. Yeah, see, everybody said, see, when you're dealing with a snake of the grafted type, you can only deal with justice in limited ways. If he's alive and live, you gonna sting someone else. The wordsmith said this goes back to the conversation about potential versus kinetic energy because food is converted to energy. So if a person consumes reality TV all day, there's no way that can equal positive thinking. Knowledge said, I know a said person that has had my car for almost 4 years and still hasn't painted it yet. The said person of that ability. Oh, yeah, man. That's something to knowledge too, man. Let me tell you another thing about the said person. A lot of them never stop saying. Up to right now, like for instance, Knowledge, right? He just said he know a said person that got his car for almost 4 years. Right now, if Knowledge called him on the phone, right, and put all of us on the thing, you know, the person must say, oh, you know, this and that happened. I'm going to get around to it. Yo, my boat sank. My aunt is sick. Yo, the coronavirus. Still saying. Still saying, sir. Yeah, that's that we said. Yeah, the never-ending story of the sad people. Oh man, brilliant elevate. I think this was a pretty good one. Yeah, you missed you know we answered some questions. We looked at it from different angles, and now I'm in the middle of a ring. But yeah, getting back to what the brother was saying here about the never-ending story of the sad person. Because let me tell you something. Even after, look, let me tell you something. Sometimes, even after the sad person receives their punishment, yo, that was my bad, yo. You know, I didn't mean no disrespect. I didn't mean, yo, I didn't know that. Still saying. Still saying. So how you, that's what I'm saying, how you know. And when you reach the end of the line, we say, okay, listen, man, you saying, but I'm not listening. Now, I was born to say what you say and do should match regardless of whom or what. 793rd, so they're on a trillions of years expedition. Don't hold them up. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Ah, see, brain elevation. So after a while, it would just be our fault for keeping the sad person around. You know, that's another characteristic of the sad person. Repeatedly shown and proven they the sad person. Like, you know, with the sad people that you deal with on an individual basis. Yeah, they've been doing this a while. This ain't the first time they've shown and proven they're the sad person. And see, like I said, that's why it's so open to interpretation. But now when you know, look the way I'm looking at it. See, when it just says punishment, right? It don't say like when you're dealing with a snake. It don't say like when you're dealing with a civilized person. It just say punishment. Because now it depends on, you know, what category this said person fit into. How you drawing it up, right? As the person, okay, yo, that was just a mistake. See, because even the devil get a chance to clean himself up, right? Even the devil get a chance to clean himself up. So see, sometimes when we see somebody that we just think they, these are mistakes or they weak in some kind of way, what happens? We give them multiple chances to clean themselves up. And what they do every time, show and prove what you know is right. That's another characteristic. Let me tell you something. If you didn't realize that before, this is what I'm saying. The said person has a history of being the said person and getting another chance. Because they wasn't seen as a snake of the crafty type. Wordsmith said you can put the 8 on your own 5 if you don't have discipline or indulge in too much vanity. Absolutely. Now, Great Elevation, you make a good point right here, right? Is another extension, right? It's another thing that builds up from that. Here's another thing that builds up from that. You said after a while, it would just be our fault for keeping said person around. See, after a certain period of time, you become the said person. So you can say, you this and you that, and you weigh and judge things and all this, and you deal with first things first and everything's right and exact. But you're keeping the said cat around. So now you just said that too. We can't tell by the way you interact with other said people. Green Elevation said, could said person be alive after journey? Yeah. See, we know that, they saying they righteous. They saying they of whatever ability, that you designating at that time, right? That's what they saying. But who they turn out to be, like a person could say, they delivering pizza or something. But then if they do a home invasion, Because this is all the signs of the said person. Fly phrase in the Providence plantations. See, because what happens when you deal with the sad person too much, right? You believe in that mystery God. And see what happens is because you believe in that mystery God, your word starts failing. Because you think they're going to do what they say this time. So those are just some characteristics, that I observed about the said person and about the interaction with said people. And just how that leaves you now with a dilemma. How do you deal, what is the punishment? Hands and feet? Exile from my cipher? What, how now you give me this whole dilemma, right? Because you the said person. So I just want to make this request right here. If you the said person, stay away from me. Look, I'm a humble man. I want to live a simple life. I don't want my life to be complicated by having to figure out, first of all, who's the said person and who's not. Because I already told y'all a long time. I wish I had an app on my phone where you can just tell me who you are. You just walking down the street, and I can just look at you in the camera and just press the button. Like, yeah, you snake. I gotta just keep writing. I just keep writing on moving. You know what I'm saying? Just press the button, snitch. Peace, my brother. Universal Truth said that we already covered removing core from the knowledge equality degree. Yeah, we did, but did you have a question about that? Yeah, the said people detector, that's a good name for that app. I was going to say you can't just say you're going to stop doing embellishment. You stop because you can and will be held accountable. The hypocritical nature can't be hidden from those who understand and see. J Bond. We'll see J Bond in a minute. But I recall seeing J Bond in a room before. But yeah, what question did you have about that universal truth removing poor from the lessons? Socialism. Universal truth said, in what context do you see poor? I see it as a form of humility. Well, no, drawing it up on all those levels is positive. You know what I'm saying? But the context that I drew it up in today was the historical context at the date of that writing. You know what I'm saying? And how poor righteous teacher, right, is contrasted with rich slave makers of the poor. You understand what I mean? It means that you do the opposite of what they do. They conceal, you reveal. You see what I'm saying? And you're not taking advantage of the people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't take advantage of the 10%. The 10% can't take advantage of you. So you got to blood suck the 85%. So because we not blood suckers of the 85%, you know, here in the wilderness of North America, that's what it tells you. On this poor part of the planet Earth, and all the history in the present that goes along with that. All the stuff that people was rebelling over, you know, last month, whatever, all of that together. We not the ones that's bringing about that death, hell, and destruction, right? So we not making ourselves rich from nobody's labor. Now they said I'm going to get my car in the morning. Black Justice out in Chicago. What's going on out in Chicago? You know, I'm disappointed in New York and Chicago per se, in the way you know, and of course, I heard different things about what could be the cause of everything and everything, but you know, I don't like the way brothers wasn't able to take a pause, at least, you know what I'm saying, during this time. You know, this is 2020. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, you know, everybody got 2020 vision right now. You know, everybody can see, right? Poverty is violent. I understand that. Poor people stab, shoot, and cut. But you know, there's got to be a time when you can say, look, uh, you know, I'm gonna get you, next week. You know, if for no other reason that the enemy does that. Now I don't like you and you don't like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, say right now we here in the wilderness of North America. You know what I'm saying? Or, you could look at what they now call Africa or whatever, right? And, even countries that's at war are able to cooperate when it comes time to oppress. And that's been the case since at least the Crusades. The Crusades for the Fifth Degree, that was, one of the first times where you had all of these different countries, all of the different kings and princes and everything came together in order to go to Jerusalem. They put those differences aside, right, to live out what their law was. Like Jesse said, dissatisfy you. I mean, listen, I'm not just dissatisfied with the youth. I'm dissatisfied, I wouldn't say I'm dissatisfied, I'm disappointed, you know what I'm saying, in the older brothers too, man. Who, we don't have, either we don't have a line open, you know what I'm saying, with them where we can come and talk to them like that, right? Or if we do have a line like that, we're not using it. Like some of the things that's happening, I'm saying it like, dude, that's not even like, come on, B, that's not even barely gangsters, right? A 1-year-old baby got shot in the stomach and returned, man. Man, I don't know if that's on the gangster list, man. Right. The youth feel dissatisfied, but they're not, even with feeling dissatisfied, like if you want that type of smoke, that's what you went to. There's, you can go handle your business right now. Like Jesse said, the degree of crime isn't sustainable. What do you mean by that? Being by anyone?
Being by my brother?
If somebody asked me a while ago, was Kanye correct in his statement? Who's that? I meant to get to that, and then I started talking too much. You said
Kanye was right. And they twisted what he said.
I don't even know what the statement was. That's what I wanted to get. That's what I wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, he says many statements. And he has some new shit out. I'm still talking about the old stuff.
Well, what was the old statement?
The slavery was a choice. That's not what he said. He said staying in slavery was a choice.
Staying in slavery?
He said remaining in slavery was a choice.
And what year was that?
What year he said it? Maybe like last year or something?
No, but what he means by
he meant that if we as a collective people remained in that position, that was on us to collectively sort of went against that particular situation. Rebel.
Kanye?
Yep.
See, the only thing with that though is he's soft.
Well, maybe, but he is second generation.
Second generation, what? Soft?
Panther.
Yeah, but he's soft though.
I mean, so soft people can't, make things
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, because you telling other people that, look, you see them cats with guns over there? Yeah, go attack them. And you soft. At the end of the day, don't forget that. Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice to live too. You understand what I mean? Now, if you was the type of dude when them dudes was gonna snatch your chain in the restaurant and you didn't call beans, but you repped out for yourself, then I would say, oh yeah, that's that gangster talk. But nah, saying you soft. Don't send nobody on a mission you ain't ready to complete. What we got here? 793 said no older shooters taught them that. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Even the people who taught them that, right? A lot of them is at a higher level of maturity now. Where even if they taught that at that time, they know it's wrong now. So, 793 said, did you see the footage of that shooting running? That what you talking about when the 1-year-old baby got shot? No, I couldn't even. I didn't even want to see that. I think I remember seeing that. But some of the stuff that I've been hearing, man, this is, come on. Yeah, that's why I said, as W said, he probably was alluding to sharecropping. That's what I'm saying. In what year was he talking about? Do he mean, in 1619 when they got off the boat that they shouldn't have stayed in slavery? Do he mean in 1700s and 1800s? I mean, does he know about Nat Turner? Does he know about, just because that's a little bit of an idea there too. That you don't want to fall victim to, that, black people, we enjoyed the slavery or somehow we was too soft to have done anything. That, nothing was ever attempted. You understand what I mean? When you say it was a choice, by who? You see what I'm saying?
Everything you said, I didn't throw any papers away.
I'm just trying to look to see if I took a good one. That's scrap paper.
This was about to get through that.
I don't understand. Wait a minute. Like Justice said, it makes our people act in accord with the colored man, i.e. Clinton's crime bill. This is where you say this level of crime is unsustainable. Unsustainable by whom? Oh man. I tell you about calling him Mr. Kardashian 793rd. Now it said, I recall being at a Tupac concert at Cream City, and Tupac was talking about the same thing about how it's not gangster to kill babies. But needless to say, they ran Tupac out of the arena. That's crazy. So Atif said he was talking Illuminati talk. He was talking from a secret society perspective. ancestors said there was a time when if a moon or star was killed in our neighborhood, someone had to answer for that. Yeah, that's and that's what I'm saying. Like I might say I'm disappointed. Like, look, I said I'm disappointed in New York too. It's it's not that I'm coming at you in any particular way, but it's just that you from Chicago, and these are the two spots where it's like they didn't even give it a break. Like it wasn't even like, yo, we're gonna let the vibe, just remain positive at least to the end of the summer or something. Pop said there is chaos every summer with senseless violence in all major cities. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, and man, maybe I'm under some illusion, but this don't seem like a regular summer to me. Like the stuff what I've seen, in the last, 6 months or so, it's not been, it hasn't been every, I can say in 2020, I seen things that I never seen before, some things that I never even thought I might see.
The cops marching and protesting.
Hey, I put that on the list.
You let this people work.
See, yeah, SW say, yeah, everybody wearing masks, all this stuff. Somebody shooting at a barbecue restaurant while the guy was waiting on his food. Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is. Queen Medina said, indeed, nothing will ever be the same again after this. Yeah, this is, so I just was thinking that, just the whole way that it's playing out. Yeah, the whole way that's playing out, man. So Real Hip Hop said Cleveland, they've been killing a lot of babies with drive-bys. I mean, there's got to be, like I said, there's separate conversations, right? I never have these two conversations at the same time. About cop violence and black on black violence. It's two different things. But I'm saying that right now we've dealt with the question of we've dealt with the question of the police violence. We've had rebellions, not just all over America, all over the world. So now we got to answer this other question. Now, Real Hip Hop asked a question here. I wonder if it's the police. If it is, it's still showing a measure of civilization we supposed to have, where we supposed to be able to detect this. You know what I'm saying? We still supposed to have our finger on the beat of that, you know what I mean? Because, it doesn't make it better, if some people is coming from outside the neighborhood doing it. like Justice said, in building with the youth today, it was said they can legally wear a mask now. Yeah, that's how it is in New York too. SW said the same thing, that his whole Earth said she thinks it, a lot of it may be police doing covert things. Um, that's definitely not outside of the range of my thinking, but it's still just something that a tighter knit community, right, would be able to ascertain that much quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's them doing covert things, they're taking advantage, right, of the dissension. You understand what I mean? Between people, when individuals see dissension in the ranks, right? When the enemy sees dissension in the ranks, that's when it's time to attack. Like, they're exploiting, they're exploiting a shortcoming amongst us, man. They're exploiting the lack of us being unified, even in a kind of moment where, things that bring us all together is being manifested. All of this goes down the drain, where, they're the people who's actually supposed to be benefiting from all this. Because these laws, change or whatever, it's the youth that's out there that, I don't want to overblow, the laws that's been passed, but look, at least you stand a little bit better chance, at least for the time being until they adjust into this new format, but for the time being, you stand less of a chance of being choked out than Eric Garner. You know what I'm saying? You stand less of a chance of being shot up in your house like the brother out there in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? But you're never going to get a chance to take advantage of that. A lot of what you doing, will end up being, it probably always be inspirational. But the reality is, look, I'm part of a generation that happened to. Where a lot of the brothers, right, because of, drugs, you know what I'm saying, and just the rise of crime in the community, right, in the 70s and 80s, brothers never got a chance to take advantage of any of the economic and educational opportunities, right, that was brought about by the Civil Rights Movement. See, like I said, man, like I've been saying from the very beginning of this, it's about the hereafter. You know what I'm saying? It's about, what we bring about and what we manifest, uh, for all eternity. Not just about protesting what happened in the past, but about building, you understand what I'm saying? You know, we don't want to fall victim to what they saying. That Black lives only matter sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to always show and prove that it mattered by protesting. We got to show and prove that it matters by progressing together. See, that was a big pot statement. So now we got real bean pie to go with my digital bean pies. Stand with my dean. SW said it happened to us all. Devil going to devil. They got the game rigged. That don't mean we can't win. Yeah, the mask. You know, the mask. Anything right now. You know, you got the internet, computer screen. You know, you got the telephones with people filming and everything. You know, you're right about that. The mask is just another thing that makes people feel anonymous. You know what I'm saying? And then once you feel anonymous, you feel bold. You know? Like Justice said, you build in on how in progress there's always some who are going to be left behind and dissatisfied. Yeah, guaranteed. But you know, in this instance, you got to make a decision. You know, in terms of that type of behavior is definitely something where that's going to reverse the progress for all of us. That see just that perception that's going out. That listen, these are not just people that are living a jungle life. These are actually beasts in the jungle that are eating up the babies, right? Then that puts them back into the driver's seat as far as, listen, we can't just deal with these people. Like right now, there's a controversy in New York, right? Pertaining to the knee on the back. Where, basically the cops in New York are saying, listen, it is impossible to arrest someone, you know what I'm saying, especially someone who's struggling, without putting your knee in their back. You understand what I'm saying? And so, the city council, they passing all these different things. Now I'm saying, it's plain as day. That, if brothers, show and prove You know, you don't want to come out now and show and prove that Hillary Clinton is correct. And you are a super predator. Not because you black and then, but because you're willing to kill, 1-year-old babies in the midst of your, that's gonna negate any progress that was made. Like I'm saying, I don't, maybe it's me, but at this point, I don't know how to separate, any of us right now. You know what I'm saying? Like when we say, whatever we dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten used to saying Black Lives Matter every day because of the sign outside. The mural. Fly said even if it was once they're cuffed, they gotta take it off their back because he's subdued already. Yeah, but not if these cats keep giving the colored man ammo to say that they're savages. You know? We all still gotta live in that world too. You know what I mean? I'm talking about whatever's happening, all this crossfire, and like I said, people just running down the street shooting everything. We gotta live in these communities. Right? And see, a lot of times that's what happens too. See, a lot of brothers talking right here, you got Queen Medina, but I'm saying just bear with me here, right? See, we guys, we done been through all levels of existence. You know what I'm saying? We done seen all kinds of things, just all kinds of things. And a lot of times, we mistake our ability to survive with everybody else's ability to survive. To see why we could just say, well, yeah, you know how it is, man. Cats is one of the cats and all that. But see, it's still little kids, many of them related to us. Your little cousin, your little sister, your daughter, your grandchild, whatever it is, they still got to walk outside in the midst of this. You understand what I mean? So we don't want to leave too many people behind in this progress because it could end up being one of our children, right? That's included in what's left behind. They might get left behind by being, shot up, man, and taken away from this plane right here, right? By somebody that we thinking, well, they just somebody who was left behind in the progress because they was dissatisfied. And I'm not saying you don't have some people that's just, you just dissatisfied by nature. But most people is dissatisfied with something. You know what I'm saying? Not saying we can solve everybody like that, but a lot of things is they're dissatisfied with conditions in our community, and those conditions, right, gotta be changed by the people that's older than them. A lot of them don't have the power to change the condition right now. They only have the power to affect the condition by, being against it. 79 said he has to get used to seeing Black Lives Matter signs on lawns like campaign signs. While as you said, they said we were a security threat group in the interior cipher, then we point out reality by showing and proving that we are all wise and righteous and now being noticed as such. And there you have one example, you know what I'm saying, of what I'm saying. Of how you gotta show your civilization. You know, not just be civilized. You gotta show your civilization. You know, that's where the part of not being a savage in the pursuit of happiness comes in. See, that's where wisdom comes in. See what I'm saying? That's where culture comes in. How you really living it out. How you showing your civilization. You know what I'm saying? If you don't show your civilization, don't be surprised when people treat you like you uncivilized and savage. Especially when you displaying a beach life. But I think it's time. No more. Is that this will be pop? Real hip hop said, I see a lot of Black Lives Matter signs, but I know nothing will change. This country does not stand for true equality. And, uh, you know, who are you expecting the change to come from? Oh man, that's Queen Medina. I wish you didn't ask me that. But the grilling for tomorrow doesn't look good. That the situation with the grilling for tomorrow is where the rent is it's not even the whole thing. It's where half of the rent. It's where half of the rent about the said person came up. It's what caused me to think about the characteristics of the said person, you know, and how you deal with the said person. You know. When I got the knowledge, we had a system for dealing with said people that work quite well. And, you know, we try to grow up. But the said people don't seem to be growing up. Perhaps we should go back to the old system. Well, not actually, if we was just doing the grill, I probably might be decent, but was one of them things where everybody kind of had to do what they said they was going to do. Universal Truth said you got to do background checks on said people ask around like the mafia do. Now, listen, I'm not saying that there's not situations like that. But see, let me tell you somebody said person. A lot of times, you grew up with the said person for so long that you don't even recall not knowing the said person. Like there's said people that there was never a time that you didn't know them. Like I said, man, most of the time you know the said person. Nice guy. See, the issue is, like I said, not so much the grill, it's the fish fry part. You know, everybody, see, I don't fry. I don't eat fries. I don't really know how to navigate that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never seen me frying nothing. Might do a little sauteing. But I don't even know how to deep fry. Human being said, well, that's my fault if I saw the red flags and choose to stay. I mean, look, some sad people is in your family. You know, that's one of the reasons why you continue to give them chance after chance to clean themselves up. Because you know, you don't see them as a devil. Like, you know, but like I said, even the devil gets a chance to clean himself up. So yeah, right now that's the grill situation for tomorrow is not what I'd like it to be. So yeah, we got any questions? We got any questions out there about what we built on? Somebody asked a question at the very end of the last live too, but I was like pressing the button to end the broadcast. But even after I ended, like you could see a couple of comments still come through. I guess I gotta start writing it down. Oh, Nick Cannon, right. Okay, what about Nick Cannon? See, I'm gonna tell you something about these people. You know, your Nick Cannons, your Kanye. I don't pay attention to them. Like I don't, you know, it's not even a matter of liking their music, but it's like, look, you know, let's say even at a professional level, right? I don't go to a doctor for legal advice. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to you know, uh, you know, a school teacher, you know what I'm saying, for uh, advice on, you know, architectural advice. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that you great at what you do, graduated cum laude or whatever, right? In what you do, that don't make you an expert in the other things. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, what I'm saying is that these celebrities, you know, they come out and make a statement, and we put all this weight on it. Like, dude, why, you know, why am I paying you any mind? Why am I, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, to me, Nick Cannon say what he want to say. But yeah, you don't buy jewels from brickmaker. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we give too much weight to entertainers. You know what I'm saying? And what they saying and what they thinking. And it's like, dude, they good at, you know, hitting a keypad or something. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they're gonna be good at anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Michael Jordan. You know, somebody, you know, Kanye's not a historian. I'm not gonna really, you know what I'm saying? Why are you telling me, you know, historically this or historically that? You know, not saying they don't have the right to speak, but that also doesn't put any obligation on me about how much weight to give what you said when you speak. As W said, look at Kanye. Would you really take him for president? No, I mean, you know, in the whole of him saying that, you see what I mean? And to me, that's one of those things where it's like, look, y'all could do all that protesting, but if we could tell y'all that Kanye West is going to be the president and y'all get excited, you ain't woke, son. You ain't even rolling over. We still got you with, yo, look, like Josh Simpson said, look, oh, they paying attention to Kanye? Yeah, build the target back. build, build, put everything back together, man. We about to have a sale. These cats is fools, man. Now I said my old herb does fish fries for her church establishment, and usually they get the fryer with the butane. Yeah, that's it. We got the butane. We had everything. It's just, it's just, words gotta be life. Josh Simpson said, I don't see why he opened up his platform to apologize and be berated by a usurper. Whose platform is that? He said they got propane and beauty. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not familiar with that. You know, like if you ask me about the different types of lump charcoal and things of that nature, now you in mind, this what I like. But I don't know nothing about frying. Really. Like fried was one of the first things I cut out. Like I cut out fried before I cut out beef. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of, everybody when you first get the knowledge, you stop eating pig. You know what I'm saying? But then as you know, get older, you study more, you know what I'm saying? You see, some people go all the way vegan. Yes, and I mean, but no matter what, it's always gonna be certain things, certain kinds of fast food, certain dishes or whatever that you're gonna continue to cut out over the time. You know what I'm saying? I cut out fried. I mean, and I'm not cold turkey on it. You know what I'm saying? You see me eat it sometimes, but I got to get it from somewhere else. It's you're not gonna see me making that jam shit. Yeah. uh, he said Nick Cannon said it on his podcast. What he said on it? What he said on his podcast? $7.93. The Kanye clothes. I haven't really seen those. I mean, I probably see them and just don't know. But I'm out to loop. I wouldn't know a Yeezy if I saw it. A Yeezy. The story of Jamshid is pretty dope. Brother was original, led his people well, got them through a tough time, taught all kinds of science, and showed and proved to be the true living. We Medina said, you don't use an air fryer. I don't even would. I've seen that like different places. When I went to the store, I saw one at someone's rest. I don't know what it does though. Like I'm actually ignorant as to the concept, like air fryer. Uh, where's the heat coming from? I can't really fathom how you might fry something with air. Fried phrase said I still hit the chicken spot up from time to time. Not that often though. Yeah, right. You might see me uh, you know, partake in some of that, or even if I'm around certain family members that I know have a knack for it or something. But it's just not, and it's something that it's a limit to. It's something that after, like say if I'm just on the go for whatever reason, and I'm, eating a lot of ice, I definitely, I'll feel a difference. I'll feel when it's time to stop. $7.93 said you can fry lightly in a shallow frying pan with good grades of fish and chicken, so it's a touch healthier. No, I'm not going past sauteing. You know what I mean? Little oil, little water, my seasoning. But who's this jam shit? Like when did he exist? Yeah, I cut fried before beef. Uh, you know, one of my favorite good times, one of my favorite good times episodes was when Michael came in the house telling everybody about hypertension. You know what I'm saying? So um, in that episode, the things that they spoke about being causes of hypertension was the pig, and the fried foods. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of had that, in my mindset already that, fried wasn't healthy. So, that was one of the things that was a part of my decision to cut out fried. At that time, I hadn't started hearing about beef really yet. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing be scared.
Wait, who got fired? They took down the episode with Professor Griff, and this usurper came on the show and talked down to Nick. Played that my victimhood is greater than your victimhood size. And touted how powerful he was in it. Well, who's the usurper? Chief said oil clogs arteries, not cholesterol. SW jam shit sounds like a wino. Legend says, all right, so Jamshid said, the legend says that the original Jamshid was the fourth king of the Persian culture. The Avesta, where the story was written, was compiled around the beginning of the Common Era. However, he was said to exist long before. Yeah, but I'm saying, when? You gave me a whole bunch of, see, I would have to know when all this other stuff is. The fourth king of the Persian culture. Rabbi Abraham. That's your name, yes. See, I'm asking you because you said you was talking about a whole bunch of things that Jamshid did in his story. You said that his people taught all types of, and you said he referenced Francis Cress Welsing. So I'm thinking this is recent. In my lifetime. The fourth king of the world, supposedly the god of that writing, gave him a choice to be like a mystery or not. Jamshid declined and then was given the task of leading the people. And he knew about Francis Cress Welsing too. I'm asking. And what is the Avesta? Who's the usurper that came on Nick Cannon's show? So like I said, because I hear people make political statements. It's not because they black. I don't care if it's Madonna. You know, Madonna has a statement she wants to make. Rosie O'Donnell. I don't care. I really, you know. And what is this investor? This is the holy book of what people? It's 793. What kind of story is that? 793 is crazy, man. Oh, the usurper was Rabbi Abraham. That's it. Okay. The usurper was some rabbi who was just there to act superior and beat his chest to make an example of Nick. Okay, so the investor is from Zoroastrianism. All right. So you're saying that the Zoroastrians knew about Francis Cress Wilson? Ancient Aryan people before the Gutians came down from the mountains and took over. I just stick to mathematics and alphabet for my names. You know, this is interesting, the stuff you're talking about. Once you start getting into Zoroastrianism, especially, you know, that's a different Quran, you know what I mean? That's a different day and time. You know, there's concepts that came out of Zoroastrianism or that was included in Zoroastrianism that affected the Abrahamic religions. You know, I don't know, maybe that's the Rabbi Abraham you're talking about who became the usurper. But I didn't say he was into Zoroastrianism, but I'm just saying that, you know, when you dealing with the stories, you understand what I'm saying, and everything, that those stories is based upon the Zoroastrian worldview. You see what I'm saying? You know, just like we was talking about how, you know, dragons, you know, if you studying an Eastern philosophy or religion, right? You got to understand what dragons mean over there as opposed to what dragons mean in the Western tradition. T said my favorite Good Times episode contains the line, "Yeah, I may eat dog food from time to time, but I would never give it to my friends." Yeah, I remember that one too. Man. Whose song can bake just as good as fried? Nah, ain't no episodes more memorable than every episode with Lenny. Every episode with Lenny And what's my other man? Who's my other man? Sweets. Lenny and Sweets is definitely the most memorable. It was more than one, but anytime you speak on those episodes. Real Hip Hop said, what's the difference between Zoroastrianism and Bahia? I don't know. I'm not too well versed on the Bahia faith. You know what I'm saying? And what the origin of it is, and who are the people that practice it. So now I say, yes, I'm familiar with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing work permit, or is Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. the counter racist? No, I'm saying it's just in the timeline. You know, when we talk about Zoroastrianism, I mean, there's a few Zoroastrians left. A lot of the Zoroastrians have blended into the other religious traditions, you know, and brought along some of the Zoroastrianism. But that's a whole other conversation. But what I'm saying is that that's an ancient. That's a.
What's up with this?
Except for the school, he sterilizes the school, takes care of the school.
That's an ancient religion.
Leaves us for this. See how wants to do shit. Take an empty one. See how it wants to.
But, you know, I'm just wondering, how did they go from, you know, the ancient timeline of Zoroastrianism, right, to a modern timeline of Francis Cress Welsing? Atif said, but you're right, we can't let this moment pass by. We owe it to the youth.
Yeah. So you fucking play that goddamn lose the game. What the hell? See, the Rastas is teaching in Jamaica and in the islands. That song War, Jimmy Don lay down the law. That song Stepper, who'd you lay down the law? Give them instructions. Hip hop needs some shit like that. How to do it. Call me Buju Gone.
So we got any other questions before we wrap this up? Because, you know, I still got to, even though I don't know what's going to happen with that situation, I still got a fairly busy day tomorrow. Just less busy.
He's an emergency. 3 glass roll-ups.
Anyone? So, you know,
I'll put it in the can.
oh, the garden, yeah. right now everything is starting to make fruit now. Some things is just starting. The cucumbers and the tomatoes, we actually get. We've got a lot of stuff off of that, right? We actually give away cucumbers and tomatoes pretty much every week. In fact, what was that? I forgot when. But yeah, everything else, the broccoli, the melons, the beanstalk started making beans.
Jack has been looking over the fence with hungry eyes.
The potatoes, they didn't start sprouting yet, but and the muskmelons is starting to come out too. The cantaloupe, unfortunately, didn't do very well. The vine died, but we did get one very sweet cantaloupe. We did get one very sweet cantaloupe off of it before it died. Quite good.
Oh, so that cantaloupe was good?
Yeah, even though it was premature, it probably was the best cantaloupe that I've had in years.
Wow. So man, oh wow, man. Of course, your people did up when I wasn't around, of course.
Yeah. God is not a fable or a fib. Yeah. We do the listening parties over on Instagram.
There's another listening party happening?
Not tonight, but we could make something happen. So is that it? That's a wrap. Everybody that made it this far with me in the live, do the each one teach one, hit the like button, share this on your Facebook and your Instagram, well, not Instagram, your Twitter, whatever social media.
TikTok videos, man.
Asiatic Mathematics asked if we had sweet potatoes. Don't tell more Mastermind, but we have white potatoes.
Uh-oh, we gonna wrap ourselves back to
So, I don't know if y'all want to partake. But yeah, other than that, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to know when the live is coming out, hit the notification button, and I'll be back to check y'all tomorrow. Peace.